You have to excuse me, I'm just getting over the flu, so I might sound a bit groggy, but doesn't stop me wanting to get new tech in, to see how Samsung's tackling the mid-range. I say mid-range, but I don't think the actual price tag of this device is very mid-range. It'll set you back anywhere between 300 to 400 quid, depending on where you get it from. But it does offer you a decent amount of technology, including 4G, removable battery, as well as a new technology which allows for prolonged runtime. You can read up on it on Wikipedia, but it feels quite solid in the hand, but it doesn't particularly feel very premium for the price that you're paying. It feels a bit chunky, but solid at the same time, and you don't get the flap over the USB port, so I'm assuming that it's not waterproof. But you know, you can get your thumb around it. It's 4.5 inches, so it's quite comfortable compared to some of these bigger handsets. Same size as the Moto G, I guess. I do think the bezels are a bit big though, you know, for this caliber of device. In fact, I think that Samsung made the S4 Mini's bezels a bit slimmer, so I'm not sure why they're so big on this device. But on the back you'll get your 8 megapixel camera with a single flash, and I think that's also a fingerprint scanner as well, which I've read reviews on it being a bit hit and miss. You also get a headphone jack at the top, and the power button on the right, and volume rocker on the left. So quite standard places for those buttons. The home button feels quite solid, so no issues there. And you do get the new style of multitasking window button, as well as a back button. Samsung made that change on the Galaxy S5 because previously it was basically like a menu button. Turning it on, we can have a look at the screen. So you're running a 720p screen, which is of a 720 by 1080p pixels per inch, and it's 326 ppi, and it's 720 by 1280 pixels. So not a HD display, but I guess on this size of screen it doesn't really matter, because it's a very nice vibrant screen with excellent viewing angles, and the colour reproduction's very nice and accurate. So I've got no issues when it comes to the screen. Using it outside, it's also very visible as well for an AMOLED, so no issues there. I think Samsung definitely have really refined the art of their screens, and I've got no complaints whatsoever in regards to it, except I do think that the bezel is a little bit big. You know, they could have probably squeezed in that little bit more screen real estate. If we have a look at the previous incarnation, the S4 Mini, you can see that you know, it's either roughly the same, or to me it looks like the S4 Minis is a little bit thinner. So, you know, I'm not sure why it's a bit bigger on the S5 Mini. You'd think that they'd refine it a little bit more, but it's not too bad. And again, I guess with the you know, the full-sized S5, you know, the bezels on that again quite thick compared to the competition like the LG G2 or 3. So I think Samsung could do with maximising the screen real estate. But yeah, you know, screen's nice, got no complaints whatsoever. In terms of the actual specifications, you're running a quad core, which is an Exynos quad core. That's Samsung's CPU, and that's basically an Exynos 3 quad, 3470 quad core, clocked at 1.4 GHz, and it's a Cortex A7. So you're looking at a similar type of processing package as the Snapdragon 400, only a little bit faster. And also you've got a Mali 400 graphics chip in there. I've always been a fan of the Mali graphics chip since the original Galaxy S. But you know, performance is decent, although I have noticed some significant lags doing more intensive stuff. So we'll see if it does it while on camera. I'm not 100% sure if it will. But you can see that it handles looking at maps quite well. And if we go to Play Store, bit slow to scroll on that. So it loads the page quite quickly. It does have a healthy 1.5 gigabytes of RAM to back it up. But I guess then again you've got to come to the realization that it is a new device, so you do expect it to perform quite fast. How will it sustain its speed in 6 months' time or 2 years' time? Probably not as well as some stock devices. But you know, overall I can't really complain. It's it doesn't feel significantly faster though than the S4 Mini. I think that's the issue I have with it. I think that if they'd have put something like if they'd kept the processor quite high end, like on Sony, what they're doing with the you know, compact series, then it would be something more attractive to people who want a smaller phone, but with flagship specs. But you know, just in general, to me, it doesn't feel quite as smooth as the old S4 Mini for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why that is. Probably it's, you know, to do with software, but hopefully they will resolve it. So just bear that in mind if you're looking for like this device. Then it's probably not 100% optimized right now. Could be in the future, but I think right now it just needs a bit of TLC when it comes to the software updates. But I think for the price that they're asking for, they should have sorted all this out before they release it, because most people are just gonna, you know, get a Moto G or something. But moving on, with the camera, you have, as I said, an 8 megapixel shooter. So unfortunately they don't bring the ISOCELL 16 megapixel camera from the S5. So it's kind of like a basic affair. Samsung definitely need to, you know, follow what Sony are doing, bringing their high-end sensors to their smaller handsets. But you do get quite a few modes on here compared to stock devices, as you can see. It can only shoot up to 8 megapixel in total at 4:3 ratio. There's no 4K, unfortunately, it's just full HD. But you do get a control over the white balance, you know, put different effects on, which is quite nice, as well as beauty face. We love some beauty face. And you do get the ability to download other modes as well. In terms of the actual quality, I found it to be quite decent in general. I'd say it's an improvement over the Galaxy S4 Mini, but it's not really, you know, challenging the Nexus 5, which can be had for cheaper or anything like that. Although the low light performance does, to me, look a bit better than on the Galaxy S5 normal, which is absolutely terrible. But yeah, you know, just bear in mind it is a middling camera. The focusing is quite quick though, which is quite good, as well as taking the shot. But it's not really going to be a phone for camera people. It's just something for your basic social networking. In terms of that speaker, we can give it a try. It's on the back. You may have noticed it. Again, it's very small and in probably the worst possible place that you could put one. So let's get something on. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think Samsung have always put, you know, a decent speaker in there, if not particularly good. I'd rank it above LG or Sony's speakers in their devices, but well below HTC's or Motorola's or Nokia's. But again, very middling. Not really standing out, I guess. but it does obviously have quite a decent amount of customization under the music app, Samsung's dedicated music app, which does bring me onto the software, which again is kind of like a love it or hate it type of thing. On one hand, it's running, the latest version of TouchWiz, so you do get the newer interface, as well as your power saving mode. I'm not sure if it's the new power saving mode. Let's just double check that. Yes, it is ultra power saving mode, so that's a bonus, as well as your fingerprint scanner to use on the back. So you use it on the front, in fact. Silly me. So some people say this is quite temperamental, and I can see where they're coming from. Unless you do it quite perfectly, it seems that it doesn't really register it. So I wouldn't be using that, but it's nice it's on there anyway. You get, you get download booster, which is, one of the best features of TouchWiz that I really enjoy. Can't seem to see it. I'll look into that, but on first inspection it looks like you don't get it, unfortunately. But maybe I'm just missing it. But yeah, as I said, TouchWiz has its pros and cons. You do get obviously the smart remote as well to control your TV, which is quite nice. So it does have an infrared scanner built in there somewhere. You also, I think, get the motion controls, such as your air view, your gestures, etc. So you can swipe over your gallery and do some interesting stuff. You don't have to even touch the phone. But if you don't like TouchWiz and you like your interface stock, then you're not going to like all this, and you're going to probably look into rooting the phone eventually. So what do I think of it? I think that if it was brought out at a more reasonable price, then it would be a decent phone, for people who don't want like a big brick like in their pocket. But right now, I think the price, coupled with the kind of software which isn't really 100% optimized in my opinion, and a little bit laggy in places, I'd probably avoid this one. And if you've got like an S4 Mini, you're not really going to miss out on much, to be absolutely honest. It does have obviously a removable battery and removable storage, which is nice. But then again, for the same price or cheaper, you could get a Nexus 5, an LG G2. You could get last year's flagships, Galaxy S4. So it really begs the question why you would buy this. But hopefully they'll cut the price down to about $250. I think that's about how much it's worth, if I'm to be honest. And then it will be worthwhile investing in. But for now, I'd say give it a pass. But I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll be back again shortly. If you did, please subscribe or rate it, and cheers.